beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, in the second game of our TNT doubleheader. An important Western Conference battle as the Sacramento Kings, who have won 9 of 10, take on the Phoenix Suns, the third most improved team in the NBA this season. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kevin Harlan. Great to have you with us tonight. March Madness is alive and well in the NBA. In the Eastern Conference, for instance, 6 teams are within 4.5 games of each other. In the Western Conference, the top 3 teams separated by 3.5 games. Sacramento comfortably in the top 4. The Suns are on the clock, tied for the 8th slot with Houston, battling for playoff position. And as always, I'm with Hall of Fame coach John Thompson and All-Star Danny Ainge. Guys, great to see you. And John, let's start with you. This Phoenix team, since the All-Star break, 4-9, yet 3 games over 500 overall. How do you read the Suns?
Well, Kevin, I read them in this way. They're trying to get into the playoffs. And in order to get into the playoffs, this ship needs a tugboat. That tugboat is, of course, Marbury. Marbury's got to definitely, Stefan's got to definitely pull them into the playoffs because of what he does. He distributes the basketball for them. He's got to score himself. He's got to get the team running smoothly. And that's extremely important. But in order for that to happen, Kevin, he's got to get some help from somebody. Shawn Marion has got to step up and really be aggressive. He's got to go to the basket on cuts. He's got to attack the basket with his shooting. Also, Amari Stoudemire, if he brought along, wouldn't be too bad either. I think the problem that they have right now is the fact that they're playing against a very good team, Sacramento, that passes the ball well, shoots the ball well, and also cuts extremely well.
They do, and Danny, they're leading the Pacific Division still.
Right, and they've had a great year this year, and they've had so much adversity to overcome. First, Mike Bibby out for 27 games. Bobby Jackson breaks his hand, and Chris Webber. Tonight, they'll be without Vlade Divac, being replaced by Keon Clark. It seems like they have so many guys, they just fill in and continue playing basketball the way they always have. Their depth is incredible. But the thing I like about this team that's most enjoyable watching is the way they pass the basketball. Mike Bibby, one of the best penetrators in the game, doesn't have to do very much because they have so many passers. Bobby Jackson, more of a scorer, but still the passing is contagious. Doug Christie, known for his defense, gets him going in the fast break situation in the half court. Vlade and Chris Webber, arguably the best big man passing tandem in all of basketball, and even Stojakovic is in the act of passing the basketball. And you got to watch them on transition because that's when they're deadly. But you know, I love this team. I think they're the best team in basketball and the most entertaining. I can't wait to watch this game.
Entertaining, that's the key word. 2 of the most entertaining teams in the NBA coming up next, the Suns and the Kings. You're watching the NBA on TNT. Tell you how pretty it was in the Valley of the Sun today, and there's our setting sun here in gorgeous Phoenix, Arizona. The Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings tonight here on TNT. Our Circuit City starting lineups: Peja Stojakovic, Chris Webber, Keon Clark, Doug Christie, Mike Bibby. For the Sacramento Kings, for the Suns, Shawn Marion, Amari Stoudemire, Tom Gugliotta, Stephon Marbury, and Joe Johnson. And for more on tonight, let's send it over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, earlier today, I spoke to Stephon Marbury about securing that final playoff spot in the West. He said, look, Cheryl, our focus, our mentality, our game plan is very simple. Every game is a must-win. It's life or death right now. He said it's coming down to, are we going to allow teams to come into our house and take food off our table? If yes, then we won't survive. Kevin, with 19 games remaining, you really do get a sense that these Phoenix Suns desperately want to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Cheryl, they are definitely on the clock. Our officials tonight: Hugh Hollins, Bill Kennedy, Greg Willard. And here we go with Webber taking it inside and picked up by Marion. The Suns have lost 2 straight and 9 of 13 overall. The Kings have won 4 in a row. And 9 of 10 coming into tonight. Here's Tom Gugliotta, who got a screen and lost it inside to Webber. Ahead it goes to Stojakovic, who's picked up by Johnson. Now back to Christie.
Well, Gugliotta gets a start tonight. I think they like him against Chris Webber. He's been out with injuries all year long, off and on. And he's been, for the last few years, they really need a good performance out of him.
That's a 2-point shot by Mike Bibby. We should tell you that Vlade Divac is not here tonight, suffering from a bout with bronchitis. And that is a day-to-day thing he is dealing with. I think he'll be back shortly, but not playing here tonight. So can't play in the dry, arid climes of Phoenix. Where can you play? A rebound by Keon Clark.
The thing's got to really happen is Sacramento's got to defend the opposite side because Webber passes the ball so well. He's just taking his time going into his offensive very easy, but he's making plays for other people.
Here comes Stephon Marbury, one of the top scorers in the NBA, coming into tonight, number 7. Free hit by Tom Gugliotta.
And that's because they're trapping Stephon Marbury. He comes off on the pick and roll, and they're so concerned about stopping him. Like Coach said in the open, the other guys have got to step up. that time Gugliotta saw the lane to the down the highway road for the basket.
That's a missed shot by Bibby. And over the backboard. Well, this is a guy with the reconstructed knee about a year and a half ago, an ACL and an MCL, but a pretty good move there.
The interesting thing about it is Clark was the one defending him on the perimeter, and he might be the only shot blocker that Sacramento has, so it's nobody left. If Clark goes out after him, he should continue to give him that ball fake and drive.
It's Stoudemire to Marbury, picked up by Christie, one of the great defenders in the NBA. Shot clock at 3. Steph has got a fire, caught by Clark. And Bibby gets it. Stojakovic launching at 3. Rebound by Joe Johnson.
Well, Sacramento's the best three-point shooting team in basketball. They take a lot in transition, and when they're knocking those shots down, that's when they're almost unguardable. They get going on all cylinders.
They volleyball it around. It's Johnson shoving it to Shawn Marion. Keon Clark with his second rebound.
Well, and what's very important for the Suns, I think, is to be extremely physical on the boards, make certain that they crash. They're not as good a shooting team outside, but they've got to hit the boards hard, both defensively and offensively.
Here's a miss. The Kings have started the game 1 of 5. The Suns are 1 of 5 as Marbury tried to dump it off on the wing and no one was home. A turnover.
Well, the difference in the two teams, Danny, is that the Suns don't move all 4 guys at the same time, and so Marbury is not going to have as many options to pass to. But Sacramento, as Danny said earlier, everybody's cutting, moving, and everybody's capable of making a play with a pass.
It's Stojakovic. The Kings have missed their last 3 shots from the floor, and a foul called on the Suns. That goes on Shawn Marion for the first time.
Well, and Shawn Marion, he's played some matchups against Stojakovic, and Stojakovic always gets to the line when he plays against Shawn. He just outsmarts him. He gets him in the air and takes advantage of his experience and knowledge and gets to the free throw line. I think Shawn has got to do a much better job of trying to do that at the other end.
And the difficult thing about playing Stojakovic is the fact that if he doesn't bluff, he shoots so well that you've got to go for the fake. A lot of guys can give you that ball fake, and you can just fade at him a little bit and then don't worry about going after him. But you better play this guy.
Peja Stojakovic, an 86% free throw shooter. Those are the first free throws of the game. And the Kings by 2. Just underway here at America West Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Tom Gugliotta searching in a congested lane. Nice knock away by Christie.
Christie's tough.
Oh, you see the versatility of Christie, too. They got him out defending Stephon Marbury, who's the best player on the other team. And Mike Bibby's versatility, too, that he can defend a bigger Joe Johnson.
What a sweet pass by Doug Christie over to Keon Clark.
And a great finish and running ability of Keon Clark. When you got big guys that can run and finish like that, it sure makes it fun to pass to. But, you know, last game, they tried to take advantage of Joe Johnson on the post, the Phoenix Suns did, because he was being defended by Earl Boykins, and they had failures of even doing that against Earl Boykins. So I think Rick Adelman probably saw that tape and said, hey, we can put Mike Bibby on him.
Here come the Suns on a Kings turnover. The Suns have missed their last 4 shots. Marbury takes it inside.
Well, see, in that time, he faked the pass to the outlet and went on in. And I think in order for him to be able to make the plays that he needs to make for the Suns, he's got to make himself a threat offensively so he pulls the defense.
Loose inside, another turnover. The rebounding even at 4 apiece so far. Step to the trailing Amar'e Stoudemire. And a foul as he tried to go inside. The turnovers are even at 3 apiece to start the game.
Well, Doug Christie, I mean, this guy gets his hands on so many balls right there. The guy is in the top in steals in the top 5 in 5 of the 6 last years. And right here, beautiful pass by Keon Clark. He's just so long, even if Gugliotta had good position on him, he just shoots it right over him.
Keon Clark picked up his first personal foul with Amar'e Stoudemire, John, a 67% free throw shooter at the stripe.
Well, and he needs to get better at that, too, because he's a power player. Anytime a guy is that kind of player that he is, as he gets more mature and gets more familiar with the league and become a better free throw shooter, he definitely will be able to get a part of his points from the line.
The Suns have never led tonight. And the Sacramento Kings lead has been as big as 4. Some full court pressure now by Phoenix. Bibby for Keon Clark, who comes sailing uncontested off the baseline.
And I don't like the press. I don't like them trying to trap those guys. They all pass the ball too well right there. I mean, I don't mind you doing a softer press, trying to get them to use clock, but not trying to trap in the backcourt and letting them exploit and get 3-on-2 opportunities. They're too good shooters and passers.
Nice maneuvering by Marion. Shot clock at 4 for Johnson. Now to Sean Marion, one of the top scorers in the NBA, and rattles it home. Sean Marion is number 19 in scoring in the league coming into tonight.
Well, the thing Danny was saying about the Suns press, anytime you trap, somebody is going to be open. He's absolutely correct. These guys pass too well. You leave somebody open just as there, they're going to find him and get him an easy basket.
Phoenix raised Mike Bibby has now 4 points. He and Clark lead the Kings. 2 apiece for Marbury, Gugliotta, and Sean Marion for the Phoenix Suns.
What a great shot right there by Bibby, posting up over Stoudemire. Just shot it over the shot blocker.
That's short. Clark gathers it in again. 3-on-3 led by Bibby off to Chris Webber. 5-time All-Star can't hit. Gugliotta there with the rebound.
Almost every play that's being made by the Suns is being made by Marbury. As to when you shift down to Sacramento, they've got balanced pass and balanced scoring almost.
Marbury has got 4.
Well, Steph just went like by Doug Christie like he wasn't there. He's supposed to be one of the top defenders in the league, and that just shows you the special talent of Stephon Marbury.
3-on-2, Bibby held by Gugliotta, who was signaling for timeout moments ago and was not seen, and he is gasping for air.
And this is the price you pay. Right here, you send traps on Doug Christie in the backcourt. Now they get it through the trap, and it's just like they're in the transition game right there. And you see Keon pointing those long fingers up there in the air. Just throw it up there.
Dr. Gadget, what do you call him? Mr. Gadget?
Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget, yes.
It's the only team I felt this kind of energy on, and I think it's very rare to come by in the league. You know, I don't want to go to any other teams to find out, but it's a good team. We got a lot of chemistry.
Keon Clark with 4 points and 4 rebounds already, and there is the master, 53-year-old head coach Rick Adelman, 5th year as the coach of the Kings. And Danny, he's got them playing defense now too, at the best they've played maybe ever in this franchise.
Yeah, they've really come a long way. But, you know, he's got some tough issues right here. He's got a guy, Turco Lou and Jimmy Jackson coming off the bench, doesn't know which one to play. Pollard back healthy. Him and Keon Clark coming off the bench. He's got too many players to play. And those are some tough questions. And then who's going to finish the game? Bibby, Jackson, and Doug Christie. Those are all tough questions.
Too many Kings and not enough minutes. A shot by Bibby won't go. Clark had another shot at it. Fouled inside by Stoudemire. Or Gugliotta. No, it's on Stoudemire. We have no substitutions, John, after that break, and Keon Clark at the line for the Kings.
Well, it's interesting the point that Danny makes, you know, as far as Rick Adelman is concerned, Kevin. That's one of the reasons why I think he should get Coach of the Year. You know, too very often we have a team that overachieves, that gets it. This is a team that's supposed to be good, and he has it being good. And with all the kind of problems that presents, I just love to see a guy who's coaching a good team that's supposed to be good get Coach of the Year sometime.
The one thing is, though, he's been helped out, guys, because of all the Kings injuries. He really hasn't had to face the dilemma which he's going to be facing pretty much right now.
Well, right, and man, Jeff Petrie might deserve Executive of the Year too, getting guys like Jimmy Jackson, Damon Jones, guys that are just on the street to come in and not only contribute, but to contribute to a winning ball club.
Stoudemire with a spin inside. No call made. Here comes Christie.
But it's hard to make that move when there's no movement in the rest of the offense, and that's the difference between Sacramento and the changing players and the Suns standing. It's very difficult to get it in the post with 3 guys around you, and it's very much more difficult to score.
Oh, what a pass by Bibby. Webber couldn't convert. It's Stoudemire, Marion, Joe Johnson, the former Southeast Conference Freshman of the Year at Arkansas, and a former Boston Celtic drafted player, comes up with a nice slam. That ties the game at 11. The Suns have never led in this game. Stoudemire picks up his second.
You know, and you see Stoudemire, he's using his quickness against Webber, does a great spin move. Webb sticks his arm out, fortunately gets the ball, but, you know, that could be called a foul. I like the good aggressive move by Stoudemire.
Oh, I definitely like his aggressiveness, but I definitely think somebody else has got to make him pay for triple teaming it.
Amari Stoudemire and Joe Johnson are out. You just saw the #1 defensive field goal team in the NBA, that of Sacramento. Now Hardaway has come in for the Suns with Bo Outlaw. Here's Weber into the defense of Outlaw and makes a go. Well, Weber, 1 of 5 to start the game. He's got 2 points.
And I like the way he's not pressing. He's just taking his time, letting the game come to him. Even though Vladdy's not here, he's not acting like he's got to make up for Vladdy.
Almost a steal by Christie, who comes in too tonight. Running back goes Allen Iverson is the #2 thief in the NBA. So the Kings have not made a change. Suns out there with now Jake Bosco comes in for Gugliotta, Sean Marion, Bo Outlaw, Stephon Marbury, and Penny Hardaway.
2 energy guys. You know, Bo Outlaw gives him so much enthusiasm and energy, and Jake too. Jake will get to the offensive boards. You'll get an honest day's effort out of him every night.
Bo Outlaw hooks it home. He's shooting, John, over 62% the last 10 games for the Phoenix Suns.
Well, and that was a great cut from the weak side. He's one of the few guys so far in this game for the Suns that's made a motion from the weak side and made the defense pay for collapsing.
Here's Bibby and Marbury. What a great matchup that will be tonight.
Oh, 2 fantastic point guards.
Keon Clark with a series of moves, and he can't get it to go. It's out of bounds. Suns with their 5th turnover.
And Bo has to be good at this because teams always help off him. They're always looking to help. So if he just keeps moving, he's going to get offensive rebounds or get open opportunities. And Kevin, he just wants you to say one time tonight when he scores, he's a flamethrower.
Does?
That's his dream.
Oh, man, it's not going to happen tonight.
I say you ruin your reputation. You call him a flamethrower. He's a rebounder, a follow-up man, and a shot blocker.
Here comes Bibby. Racing the other way, looking for Stojakovic, and picked up by Marbury. The other way for Marion. Turnovers down. I think I misspoke before. Kings have 4, 5 for the Suns. Now 5 turnovers for the Phoenix Suns.
More motion now in the Suns' offense, at least in the first part of the possession was.
Penny Hardaway. Still coming back from that broken thumb. Nice move by Bo Outlaw to save the ball against the unsuspecting Keon Clark as Scott Pollard will set the check-in for the Kings, taking the place of Clark. And again, Vlade Divac not playing tonight because of a bout with bronchitis.
Well, and that's where a guy like Outlaw is very valuable. He knows he's not going to be the initial part of the offense, so he can get on the weak side, attack the board, stay in motion, set screens. You know, and he's smart enough to realize that.
Here comes Bibby. Nice feed to Christie. Oh, he slams at the other end. Orchestrated by Mike Bibby.
And it all starts with the defense doing a great job, and Phoenix not doing a very good job of passing the ball. But Sacramento, like we've talked about, is the #1 statistic defensive team in the league.
There's a foul on Bosco, setting a screen for the Phoenix Suns, his first.
As good as shooters and passers as these guys are, you know, you turn the ball over, it's just over. They got too many opportunities, too many passers, and too many finishers.
Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings on TNT.
Bosco, not offensive-minded guys.
Scott Pollard picks up his first. Bosco at the free throw line.
Well, and the thing that's very important, you know, if Jake makes his cuts, if Outlaw makes his cuts, then you can make them pay for the help that's going on now. This big Jake right here that's laying back leisurely, they need him to stand up tall in the middle of the lane to be a presence out there.
And again, Gugliotta on his belly and Sakalitis on his back. He looks like a spa. Of course, we're in spa heaven here. Bobby Jackson to Stojakovic.
I like the adjustment that Frank has made. He's using Bo Outlaw and trapping at the half court so they're not so exposed behind the trap.
3-point shot missed. Keep it alive with an offensive rebound. Pollard a screen for Christie and a rebound by Marion. The Suns have led by as many as 2. The Kings have led by as many as 4. The other way, Jackson. Oh, to the trailing Stojakovic for the tie. Outlaw with the block. He counted up the shot.
I love that guy, man. How can you not like Bo Outlaw?
Marbury across the lane.
What I want to know is how can that guy not get minutes? Every time we watch him play, he does that.
Well, particularly on this team, he's just the missing piece. He adds aggressiveness. He doesn't mind not scoring other than fouling up other people's shots or making cuts from the weak side. And you need that kind of player.
Good looking pass inside by Hardaway.
Maybe they're saving him for the playoffs right there, though. He stopped Bobby Jackson, he intimidates him, comes back, and the guy that's taller than him, 2 inches tall, gets away with a little bit of a hack on the arm right there, but gets the rebound after the block shot and leads it down the other way. The guy's doing everything out there.
Well, and the beautiful thing is he made 2 efforts. A lot of guys will make 1 effort and just stop. He continuously kept playing until he got possession of the ball, which defense should conclude with possession of the ball.
Bosco at the line because Peja Stojakovic picked up his first personal foul. Here's Bosco, rookie with Chicago, 2nd-round pick. He was part of that great NCAA championship team in 1999 at UConn. Jim Calhoun is the coach. A 7-0 Phoenix scoring run right now. They got their biggest lead of 2017. In the zone defense.
They're playing man-to-man right now. What they did was they just trapped him. That's what Bo Outlaw's so good at. He trapped Bobby Jackson all the way out at the hash mark and was able to recover back to pick up Chris Webber.
I think Frank shows a lot of confidence in Outlaw because I think he's freelance trapping. He's determined himself to go because he's guarding Chris Webber, which is a dangerous lead.
Stephon Marbury, 7 points, and that is a game high with 2 steals. Stephon, an all-star this past February in Atlanta. At the end of 1, the Suns by 1 with the NBA on TNT. We're in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona tonight for TNT NBA Thursday exclusive coverage of the National Basketball Association. The Suns on top by 1 at the end of 1. This is the way the bottom of the playoff Western Conference picture looks right now. Houston, with their win last night over the Clippers, tied with Phoenix. Those 2 teams will play Sunday in Houston, and Phoenix needs a win to tie that season series.
Well, what about that call? Andre Miller stepping over the line for that win. That's a huge game for Phoenix and Houston involved in that. And boy, I saw the replay on that, and I never saw him cross the line. How can you call that unless you're sure?
We start the 2nd quarter with Penny Hardaway's miss. Let's set the Kings for you. Jimmy Jackson now in the game with Pollard, Webber, Jackson, and Christie. It's Jackson to a wide open Doug Christie. Rebound by Marbury out there with Outlaw, Bosco, Marion, Hardaway. That's the 5 for the Phoenix Suns. A miss by Sean Marion, a pickup by Christie.
And Sean has been falling in love with that 3-point line. It's something that he has not always been very good at, and he's doing a lot better at shooting that 3. But now it's taken away from his slashing, getting to the basket, and I think he needs to still work. He never has been good at going to the free throw line, and that's something he needs to get better at.
Jackson with the foul as Marbury was going all the way in. Jackson picks up his first as we swing it over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, Coach Johnson really liked what he saw in the first quarter. He kept encouraging his players to be a little more stingy with the basketball. Let's limit the turnovers, but more importantly, keep the defensive pressure on the Kings. Keep attacking them at the basket. Don't be settled for just the open jumper, guys.
Well, and that's what you're talking about in relation to Sean Marion. He's got to attack the basket. You know, he's definitely capable of doing it. He has the athleticism. The jump shot is great. He's probably getting better at it, but he can put more pressure on the defense and pick up fouls by going to the basket. Besides that, if he cuts, he's got Stephon Marbury, who's one of the best passers in the league.
And Lange comes in for the first time. Marbury sails in for 2.
He shoots that shot as good as anybody. That little teardrop floater in the paint. He gets in there and before the defensive big guys, because he can go around his own man so easily, before the big guys can come over for help, he shoots it over the top.
See, and there's Outlaw again, Kevin, doing that one-man trap. The defense of theirs. His man's coming down the floor slowly, so he takes the opportunity to trap.
Vito Turkoglu in for the first time missing. Webber cleans it up, puts it back in. The Kings, nonetheless, have missed 10 of their last 14 shots. Just tries to regroup. Bobby Jackson all over. Those were teammates Marbury and Jackson were with the Timberwolves at one time. Sean Marion, and Penny Hardaway puts it up and in.
Well, you talk about Turkoglu right there. Here's a guy that can't even get any minutes with the Sacramento basketball team, and he'd be starting for almost every other team in the league.
Kings will take a timeout. As Phoenix enjoys their biggest lead of 3, 24-21.
You see Weber switch out on him, and he has no prayer guarding Stephon Marbury.
34% of you think they're going to stay there and be the top seed in the East. Philadelphia running second right now at 29%. Let us go back to the Valley of the Sun. Kevin Harlan.
Thank you. I can't really complain about Detroit being right there. They've got that one-game lead on New Jersey, who earlier tonight on TNT took care of Boston. But they've got 6 teams within 4.5 games. It's tight. And the way Philadelphia is playing right now, guys, it truly does now throw this entire Eastern Conference picture truly up for grabs.
Well, it's very interesting in watching Philadelphia play against Portland when we had them last, because they control the tempo of the game. And I think that definitely that's what the Eastern teams are going to have to do, particularly when they cross and go into the West against the big power players. It still remains to be seen how effective they can be against the power teams with the great big players who are agile and capable of getting in the middle and creating a problem.
Here's Hedo Turkoglu across the lane and over Voskuhl. And a rebound by Turkoglu. Kings are shooting from the floor 36%. And here come the Suns, who shoot 43%.
Well, the Kings have had 3 days off in a row. They should have the fresh legs, but they don't seem to be moving the ball like they normally do. Maybe that's Vlade Divac. Maybe they're just don't have enough respect for the Suns and their offensive abilities or to win on this game and this home court. But I don't see them moving without the basketball and sharing as much as they normally do.
That's the 10 on the floor right now. Chris Webber has 8 of Sacramento's last 10 points. The Suns, since late in the first quarter, are on an 11-4 run. And here is the aforementioned Webber. Jimmy Jackson with a drive into 2 defending Suns. Webber tries to tap once, twice, and the 3rd time is a charm as he puts it in.
Well,
Webb's got 10.
And he got that basket coming from the weak side. The Suns did a great job reacting to the penetration by coming over, but nobody dropped down to cut off Webber, who was on the weak side.
How many rebounds did they give him on that possession?
Well, he's got 4 for the game, and the Kings are +1 in rebounding. Joe Johnson gets his own miss. Scoops it off with Jake Voskuhl.
Well, that's the thing the Suns are doing. Now, you can really tell that Frank has emphasized with them to attack the boards out there.
Kings have led by 4. Suns have led by as many as 3. Oh, by Bobby Jackson.
He called his toe on the line right there, but I tell you what, he's feeling good out there. He doesn't even hesitate. If he's open, it is supposed to be shot. I love to see that in a shooter.
It is a 2, you're right. One official overruled the other. Joe Jackson. Johnson puts it in.
He did a great job of using Outlaw's body to screen his man off. That's the thing that Outlaw is so effective. What he just did, he's one-man defensive trapper, and offensively he does the things he should do to help his team.
Johnson rejected by Pollard.
Well, and you see 3 guys come over, and Webber just comes in from the other side. He got 3 rebounds on that from a weak side rebounder. I mean, you're looking at this, and the collapsing again. Little Jake is now in the mix, and he's underneath with a good pass, and then also a dunk right here. I guess both teams are doubling and triple teaming the ball. That's a lack of communication sometimes, because that's going to leave the weak side open, and definitely you can come in from the weak side and get offensive follow-ups.
Pollard picked up his 2nd foul. Johnson at the free throw line for the Phoenix Suns.
And you see those defensive numbers. You know, Sacramento's getting their share of offensive rebounds. They just had 3 on one play right there. It's a little bit deceiving. But, you know, they're missing a lot of shots. They're shooting a poor percentage. At least they're getting the second shot opportunities.
Bibby now in with Jackson.
You see them, don't they seem like a little lethargic on the offensive end because they have so much talent. I think that sometimes they get caught up in doing things the simple way without relying on each other and movement.
Bobby Jackson inside on the fly. And Amari Stoudemire picks it up down court. Looking for Johnson. That one sails in back of him. And the turnovers in the game, 8 for the Suns and 7 for the Kings. Muhammad Ali watches Johnson's Suns. Bibby, Keon Clark back in the game. Rebound by Stoudemire.
Suns are holding them to one shot, and that's one of the things that Frank said he wanted to do. He wanted to really make certain that they improve their defensive rebound, and they're accomplishing it.
Stephon Marbury hits the 3, and now he has 12. So 1-3 for the Suns, and the Kings are 0 of 3, shooting the 3 tonight. Bibby picked up by Johnson out to Turkoglu. Great fake on Outlaw by Hedo Turkoglu. Stoudemire with his 5th rebound.
Well, one shot, as Danny said, if Sacramento doesn't start moving, cutting, being able to mix up, getting some easy layups, the Suns are holding them to one shot.
Turkoglu picks up the foul.
And what I love on him. I'm sorry, Kevin. That's what I love about Bo Outlaw. He switches off. He guards Jimmy Jackson. He's always moving, swiveling his head right there, knocks the ball away, picks up the penetration right there, contests the shot. Teammate gets the rebound. The guy never stops moving. Wouldn't it be great if everybody would play defense that way?
Well, he's a defensive hog. You usually hear about offensive hogs. He's a defensive hog. He tries to guard everybody, every play.
I tell you what, the way the Suns have been playing defense lately, though, they need a guy like that because they got guys out there that aren't guarding anybody.
The Suns have their biggest lead on a 9-0 run right now. Bibby to Clark. And under 6 minutes to play in this second quarter. Bobby Jackson inside, rejected by Bo Outlaw, and a foul. Goes on Shawn Marion. And that is the second on Shawn Marion here at the America West Arena in Phoenix.
Right here we see some examples of Steph. Right there he shoots the air ball, but draws the contact. Right there he shoots it before the big guys can get to him. Call that the running teardrop right there. He shoots it as good as anybody with a beautiful touch. He's won a lot of games this year with that little shot.
He's won 4 games. Can you hear me? Hello.
I turned your mic off.
I'm sure you did.
You gotta love Bobby Jackson. Love what he's been able to do. I mean, it's amazing. He's 30 years old today, and hit the progress of his game as he came into the league and what he is today, one of the top guards in all of basketball.
Well, and he complements the personalities of that Sacramento team, too, because he's such an energizer. He's a guy that definitely likes to have a lot of fun the way he plays out there. See, now that shot, Sean's got to go to the basket. I mean, he's shooting Stephon's teardrops. He's got to go in there and draw a foul or get a basket out of it.
Every time Bo Outlaw scores a basket, it's a big bonus. But you're right, Coach. You know, Sean, he always gets rid of the ball before the defense has a chance to make contact with him. He's been doing that from the time he came into the NBA, and he has not improved. And that's where he's got to do a better job of getting to the basket or getting to the free throw line.
And I'll tell you one thing that Frank Johnson tried to get them to do is to cut off the inside in practice. And that only works because Sacramento is not hitting their outside shots, Danny. If they shot the ball well, then you would see them cutting. You'd probably see a lot more motion. But Frank's done a good job based on what he practiced and what they're accomplishing now.
Here's Mike Bibby, and taking it down the baseline. And fouled as he goes into the defense of Joe Johnson. Johnson picks up his first foul. Kings 31% from the field. And from the free throw line, 5 of 6 tonight. Mike Bibby, 81%.
You're right, Coach. When they're making the outside shots, and they got so many great outside shooters, you have to extend your defense. And right now, Phoenix is almost daring them to shoot the ball from the outside.
Absolutely, and they're making them, they're impossible to guard, but if they're not making them, and particularly if you don't have a guy like Vlade here who can get the interior and get some of those baskets easy for him.
Joe Johnson working on Mike Bibby. Amare Stoudemire driving into Clark, and a foul. Keon Clark pick it up. That's the second on him.
Now, he's not afraid of contact. I mean, he's going in and initiating the contact as an offensive player. I love that. That's, again, he came into the league doing that. He came into the out of high school loving to make contact as he had the ball in his hands.
Well, you go to the basket first to see if you can score. If you have committed yourself and you can't score, then you search for the foul. And a lot of players throw up garbage up there, fading away, and they don't give themselves the option of being able to get the foul. That teardrop stuff is for those little teeny guys who don't want to get hit.
Absolutely.
Penny Hardaway watching from the bench. Here comes Clark. Bobby Jackson. This is a free. Rebound by Stoudemire. Sean Marion against Mike Bibby.
Well, I was wondering when he was going to realize he had Bibby on him and be more aggressive and just going on and try to take him up.
And, you know, that shot right there, that's a good shot. That's his favorite shot, the little turnaround jumper. You know, not all the time when you got littler guys that are quicker than you, sometimes you have to settle for the shot over the top of them.
You see Stoudemire going to that backboard, though. I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see a guy go in there like he's mad at his mother.
Man, that was a sweet play by Stephon Marbury. A 17-4 run by the Phoenix Suns, who lead Sacramento with their biggest margin tonight of 43-29. He was a second-time All-Star this past February in Atlanta. And I think Danny and John said it before the game well. He is carrying this team on his back.
And usually he waits in the second half. I mean, he's played great against the top defensive teams in all of basketball. He's averaging 35 against San Antonio, the second best team in basketball right now defensively. Scored 43 with 26 in the fourth quarter. This guy usually waits to the end of the game before he takes them over.
Well, and you're looking at him, and he can hurt you in so many ways. I mean, here's a penetration. He's going, you know, yo-yos it and puts it up. I mean, this guy can come up and make a play off of a pass. He can make a play off of the shot. You look at him right now, he's among the top scorers, scores the last 25 games in the NBA.
Look at all those little guards right there dominating the scoring.
Somebody need to smack him going in there.
Well, Keon Clark tried to take a charge right there. It was like a flagpole.
I know. He's not packing too much behind. Even those heavyweights stopped this penetration of all these little guards.
Bobby Jackson off to Weber, working on Guglielmo. Jackson for three. Rebound inside by Stoudemire as he gets his 8th rebound.
A lot of movement out there, and not anything achieved. You know, Bobby's forced to take the outside shot right there. Ball stayed on the same side of the court.
Johnson into Stoudemire. Trying to come around Weber. And here comes Peja Stojakovic. Bibby. Back to Stojakovic for three. Rebound by Johnson.
Suns are doing a great job holding them to one shot. Obviously, Sacramento's not hitting the outside shot, so the Suns can remain crowded into the lane.
You're right, John. Sacramento all of their last 8 from the field. And Stojakovic picks up his second personal foul. For 22 retired, and Danny, am I right? This is the first basketball number they've ever retired in that program?
Yeah, well, they're going to do a lot more, I'm sure. There's a lot of old-timers they've done, or they haven't done, but I'm sure they'll do in the near future. It was a fun experience being with everyone, family, old coaches, and teammates.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Seriously, sincerely, that's a wonderful, wonderful honor. You look like you were touched, and I'm sure that those fans up there consider you, wherever you might be in the country, whether you're in Phoenix or in Boston or wherever.
But it's official now.
It is official.
It's official. One, that he accomplished something, and two, that he is indeed an old-timer.
Here comes Mike Bibby.
Even more so, he admitted it.
That's right. And off to Seaweber. Comes off the wing and in. The Suns have outscored Sacramento 25-10. Marbury's got 9 points in that span. And look at what the backcourt of Joe Johnson and Stephon Marbury are doing to Mike Bibby and Doug Christie.
That's because Chris Webber gets the ball down the court almost every single time. And Steph is the guy with the ball in his hands all the time. But you know what, Coach? You know, I've been watching Steph play all year. I live in here in Phoenix. I get to watch this team play on television a lot. There's no point guard that's playing better. I'm not saying he's for sure the best point guard in the NBA this year, but there's nobody that's played better than him this year.
Well, I hear you, and I don't know that there's many point guards whose team rely on him as much as his team relies on him in terms of the accompanying players with him.
Well, especially scoring. I mean, Jason Kidd has relied on a ton, and he's having a great year. But Steph, I mean, he really has carried this team on his back.
Deion Clark now has 7. Amari Stoudemire moments ago picked up his 3rd personal foul for the Phoenix Suns. Johnson out there with Marbury, Marion, Bo Outlaw, and Tom Gugliotta left open to fight. Rebound Stojakovic with Christie, Clark, Webber, and Bibby.
Suns have to keep their defensive focus because this Sacramento team is so offensively explosive that they can score in spurts in so many ways.
Like you say, without Vlade out there, with Webber floating around on the perimeter, just picking and popping, not really going and taking advantage of his size and strength on the inside, they are settling for a lot of outside shots.
Mark Johnson calling a timeout because Sacramento's on a 6-0 run. And even though they're shooting 33%, you can see the passing still makes them a very effective offensive team.
Well, and sometimes that can become their worst enemy if they're not hitting because they run such an equal opportunity offense that you want one guy, if things aren't going well, to just take over and use his ability. And sometimes they still are playing that equal opportunity style, and that can hurt them in some situations.
Well, how many teams in the league are the power forward leading the team in assists? But, you know, Webber gets the ball in his hands a lot, and I think the offense gets stagnant sometimes. They just give it to him, and everyone kind of tries to get a quick basket, and then if they don't get the quick back doors and the easy opportunities, then they stand around and play one-on-one.
And one of the reasons he gets it so much is both he and Vlade are such excellent passers that these are guys that are almost used as like point centers at times on this team, particularly if guys will move.
47% shooting for the Phoenix Suns tonight. And Marbury launching a 3. Rebound by Christie. And the rebounding, Phoenix +4. It's Bibby outside.
And that's a beautiful thing of this team. They get the outlet, either guard. Matter of fact, Chris Webber even brings the ball sometimes off the glass. And, you know, it's so much harder to defend a transition game when you have multiple people that can lead the break. Right here, Chris Webber's leading it.
Chris Webber's got 12, the only king in double figures. Mike Bibby for 2. Rebound Sean Marion. The 16 of Stephon Marbury leads the Phoenix Suns.
Got to be careful with Sacramento. I mean, they're just so doggone explosive and have so many answers offensively to catch up with you.
Playing twisters, Jake Boston. It's on to Sean Marion.
And that's what I love about Jake. We talked about him being an energizer like Bo Outlaw. Right there, dives for the floor. Doug Christie tried to pick it up with his legs straight. Almost tore his knee up right there diving for that ball.
Look at the trap on Webber. Tries to throw it against the shin of Marion. They call it jump ball. With that nice defense down low. He was hemmed in and Webber had no place to go.
Good aggressive trap. I like that. No half-stepping right there. Just go down there and be aggressive. Make him do something. Sometimes you get an offensive foul called on the offensive guy trying to be aggressive to get out of the trap.
I don't know whether you want to make Webber angry at this point, though, because he's playing, as you said, on the outside a little bit, passive. But if he gets angry and goes on the inside and starts to become more aggressive, he can create a lot of problems for this team. But he can create a problem anyway, as good as he is.
There's a 3 by Christie, and the Kings have made 5 of their last 6 shots from the field.
And that's what's so scary about it, Kevin. You know, they go in the shooting slump. They're shooting terrible the whole time, but they're so explosive. They can score 15 points faster than any team in the league.
It's Stephon Marbury. Juking his way and trying to carve some free room inside the lane. Christie was reaching in. And Doug picks up his first Saturday night on NBA TV. 7 o'clock Eastern, Miami takes on Washington. Sunday on ABC, 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Dallas meets up with these same Sacramento Kings Wednesday night. Boston and Indiana on ESPN. With Marbury hitting up the free throw line. The Kings come into tonight having won 9 of their last 10. As you take a look at the birthday celebrant tonight, Bobby Jackson. The Phoenix Suns, since the All-Star break, 4-9. They have lost 9 of their last 13 games overall.
You got to wonder about the energy that Stephon has to put into running the offense, because he does so much handling the ball and setting up other people as well as setting up himself, and that'll take its toll on his body in the latter parts of a ball game, whereas Sacramento distributes the ball and so many guys are involved in the handling. As Danny said, one time the point guard, one guy time the center, one time the forwards are bringing the ball down the floor, but Steph does it all the time for the Suns.
Doug Christie gets it off to Weber. Clark trying to beat the buzzer. He ties as he bangs it home. Keon Clark comes up with a big play. He has 9 points and 6 rebounds, taking the place for Coach Rick Adelman of the ill Vlade Divac, who is not playing tonight, and the Sacramento Kings, who trailed at one time by 16 points in the first half on a 13-4 run. You're right, John, you said it. Don't take them lightly.
You cannot take them lightly because they have so many offensive weapons.
That was some kind of shot by Clark and some kind of first half put together by Vlade Divac's replacement tonight. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, Stephon, even though the Kings were able to make a run at the end, you got to be pleased with the defense in the first half.
Yeah, we're playing great defense and we're rebounding the ball. I think that's the most important thing. We knew that them guys were going to make a run because they're a really good team, so we just got to keep going out there playing with the same intensity.
At times, this team has struggled offensively. Let's talk about the half-court set. Once you guys really moved the ball around, got great ball movement, you were able to get a lot of easy shots.
Yeah, we got some great shots off of penetration and kick. We're making our open shots. Guys are hitting the seams. Just got to continue to attack.
It's a Kings team that can come in the second half and score a bunch of baskets and points. What do you do to eliminate that second half?
We're well aware of that. We just got to continue to play hard defense. And I think the main thing right now is just continue to put pressure on them guys in the backcourt and try to tie them guys down.
All right, good luck in the second half. Let's send it back to you, Kev.
Stephon Marbury, the only player ranked in the top 10 in points and assists in the NBA. 18 points in the first half. And Chris Webber has 12. And Ernie Johnson, what makes Sacramento's story so interesting, they are number 2 in the NBA in player games lost to injury. They're trailing right now by 7 here in Phoenix. Let's go to you in Atlanta.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin. A 7-point game thanks to Keon Clark.
Some defense in that first half.
Well, you know, the Suns started out the season playing great defense, and they've kind of faded. As their offense has picked up, their defense has faded statistically. And they, you know, against Golden State the other night, they looked awful defensively. But tonight in the first half, they've looked good. But Sacramento, like Coach brought up, they just are not making the outside shots. And so the traps get a little bit tougher, and the intensity level of Phoenix picks up. I anticipate Sacramento to start making some shots, especially Stojakovic.
Most teams aren't able to sag as much as they've been able to sag against a team like Sacramento, but they've gotten away with it because of the lack of shooting.
And we're going to send you now over to Cheryl Miller.
Thanks a lot, Kevin. Well, just moments ago, I spoke to assistant coach Elston Turner for the Kings, and he said, look, the first half, we simply missed a lot of shots that we normally knock down. We were cruising in the first half, didn't play with a sense of urgency for the second half. What he wants the team to really get after is, let's get our energy back. Best way of having that get done on the offensive end is through our passing and cutting. He simply didn't see enough of that in the first half, guys.
And what also about the three-point shooting, Cheryl, because the Kings average over 6 made three-point shots a game. John, tonight they're 1 of 7. We saw this same Kings team a couple weeks ago, and they and Dallas combining over 50 three-point attempts. But like I said, only 1 of 7 tonight for the Sacramento Kings.
Well, over there at Dallas, it looked like the gunfight at the OK Corral. Both of those teams were putting it up, but today they're shooting a lot of blanks. You know, even if they're taking the shots, and that is enabling the Suns to float back in the middle. Frank Johnson spent a lot of time today when we watched them in practicing their defense, but it's working only because Sacramento's not hitting the outside shots.
Well, I think Peja Stojakovic and Sean Marion, that's the matchup to watch. Both had subpar first half. Peja only 2 points, 0 for 5 from the field, and Sean Marion only 6 with no free throw attempts. So I think those are 2 guys that need to carry their team a little bit more, or a lot more offensively here in the second half.
Phoenix Suns come into tonight as the 3rd best improved team, the 3rd most improved ball club in the entire NBA. Yet they have struggled since the All-Star break. They've struggled except for Stephon Marbury. Since the All-Star break, Stephon Marbury has averaged 26 points, shot 50% from the field, and 82% from the free throw line. He is out there with Sean Marion, Tom Gugliotta, Amari Stoudemire, and Joe Johnson. Amari Stoudemire takes it in. Rebound offensively by Tom Gugliotta.
He is quick. But I tell you, Coach, he's going so fast, he can't see anybody. He can't see that he's got 3 guys on him. It took 3 defenders to stop him right there.
Well, and he goes to the basket so aggressively also. But one of the things that happens is Suns stand around so much that every time he goes, he's being challenged by 3 people.
Amari Stoudemire has started 0-4. And here comes Christie to Weber out there with Clark, Bibby, and Stojakovic. Another rebound by Tom Gugliotta.
Well, Sean Marion, he's limping a little bit. You can tell that he's a little bit sore. He's not cutting as hard. He's not playing quite as confidently. I saw him get some treatment, you know, on the T-band on the outside of his thigh before the game. And I just don't think that that's the guy that they got to get going in the second half. Ever since the All-Star break, he has not been the All-Star player.
Well, and at least somebody's got to join Marbury, I think, because obviously Marbury used a lot of energy in setting up the offense. Then he also sets up himself. And somebody's got to join him, as we said in the opening, if this team is going to be effective.
Weber tried to scoop it. Amari Stoudemire grabs the rebound. He now has 9. And Sean Marion the other way. Stoudemire 0-4, 0-5, protected by Sean Marion.
There's some of that explosiveness we're talking about.
When he's got enough athleticism that he can show you various aspects of his game. He's not doing as much as you'd like to see him right now, but obviously it may be something to do with the injury that he had too.
Keon Clark is snuffed out by Sean Marion.
And that's what we're talking about now. Variety is the spice of life with him. He's doing a little bit of everything.
Marion's averaging 21 points a game, leaning on Stojakovic. Gets his own miss, takes it up.
Well, he must have heard us talking about it right there. There's 3 of the best plays he's made all there. But right there, you see Stoudemire. I think sometimes he gets so dizzy, he loses track of where he is. But we see Marion coming in for the block right there after the tip in. And then aggressively going to the basket, even trying to lean in, trying to draw some contact and following his shot, beating Inspector Gadget to the basket, and finally getting the free throw attempt.
He's so quick to the ball.
Hits the free throw, completes the 3-point play. Sacramento has yet to score any points in this second half.
The Suns have to stay focused. They did a great job on the defensive board. They did a great job of cutting down the cutters of Sacramento inside. So the Suns definitely have to stay focused. But if the outside shooting comes, they're going to have a problem.
Stojakovic hits for the first time tonight. He is 1 of 6, 4 points for the Sacramento Kings.
And those are the 2 guys that got to get it going. I feel that matchup heating up at the small forward position.
Peja's got 4 fouls. That is going to be a concern for Rick Adelman, so much so that he's going to go to the bench and get Jimmy Jackson in the game.
And I feel the matchup cooling down. Jimmy Jackson can score too. That's why he's out there.
Stephon Marbury. Tom Gugliotta. Missed a lot of the first half of the season with a stress fracture in his right foot that he suffered late last season, so it lingered into this year.
Yeah, he's had so many things go wrong, as you brought up already. But, you know, Googs, he can pass, he can shoot, he's tough, he can defensive rebound. He's a very versatile player. He's never been able to show his stuff.
Sean Marion has 7 points this quarter alone.
And nothing makes that leg feel better than a little dunk and a block shot and a smothered chicken and an offensive rebound.
Well, and he did a great job of rotating on the trap that time. They worked on that, too, in practice a lot, and they're getting a lot out of what they work, so it's got to make Frank Johnson feel happy.
Stephon Marbury picks up his second personal foul. Milojevic is on the bench with 4. Vlade Divac's not playing tonight because of a bout with bronchitis, and a 3 by Mike Bibby from outside. The Kings have nailed 2 3-point shots, 2 of 8, and the Suns 2 of 6 shooting from above the arc this evening.
The coaching staff isn't happy with that. When they're double teaming, they do not want to give Mike Bibby the shot. They want Doug Christie and Jimmy Jackson to shoot from the outside.
The Suns are shooting 45% from the field. The Kings are shooting 37% from the floor. It's Bibby with 11. Weber with 12 to lead all Kings scorers. Nice rebound by Stephon Marbury, who's got 13 points, but the 18 has been terrific, and that is Marion. A 3.
Uh-oh, the praying mantis is back. Posing after he knocks down that shot. But you can just tell his whole body language, everything. He's feeling confident right now, and he's playing like the all-star.
Bibby again. Rebound by Shawn Marion.
I haven't seen Sacramento play, Danny, when they haven't gotten anything off of cuts. You know, they pass the ball so well because they're missing the outside shots, but you don't even see guys attempting to cut through from the weak side.
Shawn Marion with another 3. He's got a game-high 19 points. Shawn Marion has scored 13 points in the third quarter.
Well, you've said his name more in the last 3 minutes than you did the entire first half.
NBA on TNT, brought to you by Michelob, the beer with a smooth taste and a nice finish. And by Jaguar. Experience more power, refinement, and luxury in the new 2003 Jaguar S-Type, the art of performance.
There are 7 deadly sins. This is beginning.
Brad Pitt, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey. Sam. Saturday night at 8, one of the Saturday night new classics on TNT.
Shawn Marion has put on quite a show to begin this third quarter. 5 of 6 from the field. He's hit a couple of threes. He's got 4 rebounds. He has done it all.
Well, and he's done exactly what we said that we'd like to see him do. I mean, he's scored in every way that you can imagine. He's put back, he's blocked shots, he's hit jump shots, he's penetrated, beaten other people to the ball. And that's what you expect from somebody with his athleticism. And hopefully, he just won't become content with becoming a jump shot. If you look at this right now, even in open court, he's scored. He's driven to the basket, 2-point jumpers, 3-point jumpers, rebounds. He's done it all, Danny.
Yeah, and you know, it almost seems like it's okay for him to do it. You know, here's an all-star, and you know, sometimes we think, hey, those guys aren't capable of losing confidence, and he's not been playing good basketball as of late, and you can just see his confidence growing as each success in this half.
And that's what this team needs with the Stephon Marbury, because Marbury's been carrying most of the weight of this team, and you needed, as we said earlier, somebody to step up and play at a star level as Shawn has been doing.
Weber's got 14. Here comes Tom Guglielmo. Snaps it outside to Stephon Marbury. He's got 18. Driving inside, knocked away by Weber and picked up by Doug Christie.
Hard against the set defense with no motion on the weak side. He's going through, he's going right into the spider's web.
I tell you what, though, he's quick, though, isn't he?
Very quick.
He goes by Doug Christie. He's one of the top defenders.
Bibby out to Jackson, launching a 3. Rebound by Weber. He's now got 7 rebounds. Here comes Stoudemire. Keon Clark got him from behind. Good spin move by Christie. Looking one way and feeding the other to Seawest. With 16.
Got to give Jackson credit, though, because he's come in and energized his team. Been very physical, been involved. He even hit Clark in the head with the ball.
Oh, these guys can all pass her off. Jimmy Jackson's even trying to take a leg, but Keon Clark, watch your lip.
3 seconds left.
Stevie. Down the alley!
An impressive list of former Suns. When he entered the Ring of Honor, the group includes names like Connie Hawkins, Tom Chambers, Walter Davis, and Kevin Johnson. And Kevin, it was an extremely emotional night for Thunder Dan.
John Thompson, you coached him in the Olympics.
No, and I just love him. I was invited to this. I was very sorry I couldn't come because I had made a previous commitment. But you're not going to find a finer man, a harder playing ball player, and a guy who has the respect of other guys who play the game as Dan Majerle.
The Phoenix Suns lead at 64-51. They've led by as many as 17 points. The Kings have had some leads, but not as big as that. And the Suns have got great performances from Marbury and from Marion as Gugliotta misses from outside. Kings have led by as many as 4. That's been it. Rebounding advantage strictly to the Suns, too. Huge advantage. Marion driving inside by Webber.
Well, see, and that's what I love. I mean, he attacked the basket. He had Chris Webber in front of him, crossed over, went to the basket rather than just settling for a pull-up jump shot.
Chris Webber doesn't have any fouls. You can't let the guy that's just hot going waltz on in there.
Webber now has 18. Marion has 21. Those two players lead their respective teams in scoring in this game.
I can't comprehend that. How can you play almost into the third quarter as many minutes and not have a foul? That wouldn't even be any fun.
That's because you were a hacker.
That's almost like not having any points or something, you know? I mean, you don't even have any fouls. That's half the fun.
Webber inside.
Oh, there he got one.
Picks up his third. Webber has scored or assisted on all 5 Kings field goals this quarter.
Well, here he is, just going coast to coast right here. No fouls right here, Chris Webber. Oops, let me get out of the way. Lay it in on me. And Chris just picked up one here. I disagree with the call, too, Chris. I don't think that was a foul. But right there, he just goes right by. No resistance. What a great athlete.
And it's amazing how much Stephon controls the basketball for them. You know, and that's one of the things that was good when Shawn Marion was bringing it down, because Stephon is offensively capable of scoring points as well as setting people up.
The Suns have 12 turnovers. The Kings have 11. It's Gibby for 3, who carries it. He is 5 of 10, 13 points, with a couple of assists.
And the outside jumper is definitely there for Sacramento. They just have not been hitting that shot because the Suns have been doing a great job of cutting down their motion in their offense by clouding into the middle.
Here beyond Stephon. Here comes Amar'e Stoudemire. Very quiet tonight and hits his first field goal. He is 1 of 6. He has 7 points, with 5 of those coming from the line.
He does that same move every time. Goes hard right, spins back left, or starts left and spins back to his right. But sometimes I think he's spinning so much he does get dizzy and has a hard time finding that rim. But he found it this time. This is a tough move to guard Chris right here.
So because of his strength and, as you indicated, his quickness, he's doing it against the stationary defense again, because there's very little offside movement in the Suns' offense.
There's a defensive 3-second violation, unless you have the free throw. Frustrated Amar'e Stoudemire. He doesn't seem to be slowing down, though, Danny. Is he and Yao Ming at Houston still your front runners for the rookies of the year?
Absolutely, and that's why I call the guy Bam Bam. I mean, he just has so much energy. He never runs out of energy. He might lose his confidence and not get the ball from his teammates as much.
Stephon Marbury.
And Amar'e Stoudemire did that because he actually pushed Chris Webber out of the way and opened up the middle for him. But one of the things that Stoudemire is doing is he's going through an educational process. This is the second half of the season. People getting used to him a little bit, but it's not going to hurt him. He's going to end up being still a great player.
Keon Clark. Now 11 for him, 7 rebounds, 18 for Webber, 14 for Bibby. That takes care of Sacramento. 20 for Marbury, 21 for Marion. Those are the high scores for the Phoenix Suns. That's a pretty imposing tandem. Marbury and Marion. Eminem, Marion for three. Oh, what an incredible third quarter he is putting on tonight. Scoring at will with 18 points in this third quarter alone.
Boy, somebody else is pulling the boat other than Marbury now. He stepped up and done what he has to do. Thinking about stepping up.
Bibby with three, and the Kings are 4 of 12, shooting three-point shots tonight.
But you can't play against Sacramento when they're not going to get on a hot streak. And the thing that Phoenix, they're continuing to score. Marion's carried them offensively, and you got to know that they're not going to make those shots continually, but you got to keep scoring the ball as well.
Well, and that shot has been there all night long for Sacramento, Danny, as you know, and they haven't been able to hit it. But if they keep leaving it open like that, this team can shoot in bunches and catch up.
Christie picks up his second. Penny Hardaway will be at the free throw line. Well, Thursday night on TNT, Philadelphia will take on Detroit. Allen Iverson with the 76ers. Ben Wallace with the Detroit Pistons. And then the Lakers take on Sacramento. Enough said. Coverage beginning at 7 o'clock Eastern time with Listen Up. It's on TNT next Thursday night.
Those are going to be two great games right there.
Hardaway at the free throw line. Free throw shooting tonight. Suns 15 of 19. Kings 8 of 10.
Have the defensive hog back in the game. Outlaw now. He'll check everybody on the court.
Penny Hardaway picks up his first personal foul. Suns come in having lost 5 of their last 7 games at home. One time this team was 20-4. Now they're 22-9.
Outlaw so many places you don't even really know who he's assigned to defensively. He's everywhere.
Jackson, Bibby for three. Oh, another three by Mike Bibby, right between the eyes. He's got 12 in this quarter alone.
Him and Marion, they're having a shootout, but they're both falling in love a little bit with that three-point line.
Jake Bosco in the game. Here's Steph. Up to Bosco. He's open to shoot. You know, when he starts scoring, things are really rolling for you offensively, and that's what you can say about Frank Johnson's Phoenix Suns tonight.
No, Stephon did a great job of pulling the defense. He penetrated, pitched it out to him. And he's just so strong. His body size is so strong that he can make the pass in traffic as well as make baskets in traffic.
Well, and that's what I love about Steph. I mean, Charles says at halftime he's not a point guard coach. I don't know what you think about that. I think he's a point guard.
I kind of think he is, too.
I mean,
he's a point guard that can score. Really.
Right, and you know, sometimes he has to score and take an offensive burden because they don't have guys that can create their own offense. So the best option of getting a trap is him running a pick and roll, drawing the defense, and then giving an opportunity for the role players to make shots.
Kings have made 7 of their last 11 shots from the field. A miss there by Weber, who's 9 of 21. And
see, Charles was like you. He was on the receiving end of those passes. So anybody that takes 2 or 3 shots, you guys think they're not point guard. You want to receive the ball.
Well, Charles was great, too. I mean, he demanded those double teams, and so he became a point guard out of the forward position. I mean, he created offense for other people. And, you know, sometimes you got to pick your spots. And I think Steph has done an incredible job this year of playing both. And, you know, but sometimes, like in the first half, there was nothing happening out there, and he had to step it up. Usually he waits to the second half before he even sets in for that offensive year.
The thing I like now is that Shawn Marion is stepping up. And in order for this Phoenix Sun team to be effective, that's exactly what's got to happen. And that's what we said at the top of the show. Somebody's got to come along with Stephon if these guys are going to make a run for the playoffs.
Bosco picked up his second foul. It's Stephon Marbury. Oh, he was caught on three. Marbury's got 23 points. Bibby picks up his first foul. And the Phoenix Suns are putting in one of those performances that they showed early in the season.
Well, Steph is scoring in so many different ways. Like we talked about Shawn Marion. He's penetrating, he's creating offense for his teammates, but when he's making those are the very special nights for him. You know, they're hoping that Stoudemire develops into the low post threat that they want, because they got Marion that runs the lanes, kind of a slasher, an all-around versatile scorer. Steph is a point guard. that can score, that's a pretty good three pieces to build around.
Well, and I think Stoudemire is still in the learning process. A lot of people don't realize that because he came out of the gate so strongly. But once he becomes a lot more savvy about how to react to various defenses, he'll even add even more to this team.
A rare four-point play by Marbury. Weber trying to slice and dice inside. Bobby Jackson has just come in the game. Rebounding in this contest is closed just a bit. The Suns now +6 in rebounding. Here are the Kings shooting 40% from the field. They've hit 5 three-point shots tonight. Bibby again. That time short. Seconds remaining. Weber with the third good if it goes. And that takes us to the conclusion of the third quarter. A third quarter which saw Mike Bibby put in 12, but Shawn Marion had 18 points in the third. That's as good as you're going to see. At the end of 3, the Suns 80, the Sacramento Kings 67. Sacramento Kings got to within 9 points, but they missed their last 4 shots, and the Phoenix Suns lead at 80-67 at the end of 3. In that third quarter, the Suns shot 57% for their coach moments ago, Frank Johnson.
Shot. You don't have to take it if it's not a good one. That will be right there. But you're down low, and if you got there on your hip, go up there, stop. Jump into him. I guarantee it's there. Guarantee. Got it?
With a strategy to begin the fourth quarter. Phoenix Suns had Marbury, Bo, Outlaw, Penny Hardaway, Shawn Marion. He have 18 points in that third quarter alone, and Jake Bosco. The Kings begin with Jimmy Jackson, Mike Bibby, Bobby Jackson, Chris Webber, who leads them in scoring tonight. Take that back. Bibby's got 20. And Peja Stojakovic from outside. Bibby's got 20. C-Web's got 18 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. He is closing in on a triple-double.
Well, I don't think that's the game plan. To leave Peja Stojakovic open coming out of the timeout for a wide-open 3. But right here, the play, Frank Johnson said he's got to play guaranteed. Didn't work the way they wanted to, but they got so many offensive players out there, they get a good shot from Penny Hardaway.
And the way Frank was coaching him in the huddle, Danny, he acts as if he's playing against a team that is explosive, and he's exactly right. They're capable of getting points in bunches, and he wants them to stay focused.
Bosco had a block inside. Marbury to Jake Bosco. Followed by Chris Webber.
Oh, boy. That looked like all ball right there. And a late whistle. A great play by Steph, though. This is good patience. He just takes his time. He looks off the defender, Bibby, right there. Throws it right there to Bosco. Oh, Webber just smothered chicken.
Well, and Jake took too long to get himself set up. He was wide open. He was getting set up for a power move with nobody behind him.
2 on Webber. Bosco at the line. You know, you talk... And a technical foul. Hager's on the bench. Webber really controlled his emotions on the floor well.
The technical foul was assessed to the Sacramento Kings bench. The free throw made by Shawn Marion.
To the bench. Tonight, that bench has only produced 4 points. Coach Rick Adams will score again. The Kings, 37% from the field. The Suns, 49% from the floor.
The Suns are still doing a great job inside of clogging up the middle. What they're giving up basically a jump shot. And if they're not hitting, it's a great strategy, particularly if they rebound, as they didn't do that time.
Well, they got one inside guy. He's standing right at the top of the key. Every time the guards want to penetrate, Webber's man seals him off, and he settles for jump shots.
Bobby Jackson takes it inside.
Even if you're not going to, step out and shoot some, but if he's playing in the paint to penetrate and dish, and just drawing some defense in the paint, the perimeter players have a chance to go somewhere. But every time they put the ball on the floor, there's C-Web's man helping, and they couldn't go in for shots.
Bosco inside again. Jimmy Jackson picks up the foul here.
And that was a great pass by Penny Hardaway because he split people, and that's very difficult to do.
Jackson's got his second foul. It's Jimmy Jackson with his second.
Good cut by Penny. Penny's so smart and clever. He knows how to play the game. Too bad he has had so many injuries like Gugliotta. Sorry, Kevin.
I was just saying, Danny, the Suns take the 8th fewest free throws in the NBA, and tonight they have taken 24 attempts. Kings have taken only 12.
Well, you know, this is the Suns. You know, some nights they look fantastic. They go into San Antonio and stop their big streak, and they beat Portland the very next night when Portland's rested, and then they lose to teams they should beat. And, you know, but on any given night, this team could be spectacular.
The interesting thing about Hardaway is the fact that now that he's probably limited some because of an injury, he's playing a lot more with his head and is not as flamboyant, but still can be just as effective from what I've seen of him.
Bosco with the rebound, and that is his second. Suns have led by 17. Kings have led by as many as 4. Inside, what a pass to Bourne. That was a sensational throw inside.
Well, it was 2 in a row. You know, one he threw to Jake, and the other one he just threw in there against the Outlaw.
Hardaway's got 2 assists. Oh, and a big-time 3 from outside by Bobby Jackson, who is warming up. He's got 9.
You better guard this guy. This guy doesn't have any conscience, and he's the energizer for this team. He'll come in the game and really ignite sparks for the Sacramento team.
Oh, we've seen 4 in a row by Bibby, and then Jackson, Stojakovic, both guys who haven't really got it going in this game are capable. The Suns just have to continue scoring.
Weber at the other end. He's got 20. Sean Marion with 21 points this half. And a game-high 27 points for the Phoenix Suns.
That's the first time I've ever seen Kevin speechless. He just held his mouth open and looked at me.
Jake Bosco flies inside. Bosco with 11 points off the Phoenix bench.
Oh, see, and Bosco and Outlaw have scored 3 of the last 4 possessions. And it's because they're not being guarded. It's all the penetration of the point guards that draw so much attention. Penny Hardaway posting up right here. Great movement. Both of the guys are wide open right there. Take your choice. And right there, Penny Hardaway again. Nobody's guarding Jake Bosco. But this is the highlight. I once saw a man fly!
Well, that's what I was waiting for. He got speechless.
Ernie Johnson in Atlanta. Time to update the NBA.com question of the night. Which team will be the top seed in the East? Detroit still leading the way with Philadelphia second. And it may seem strange, but I don't think it is. Those 2 teams going to be on TNT. I smell a segue.
Here we go next Thursday night, Ernie. Philly at Detroit, Lakers in Sacramento. That will be a power-packed Thursday exclusively on TNT. The Suns have made 8 of their last 9 shots. Sean Marion started 1 of 5 from the field. Since then, he has gone 10 of 11. He has put on an incredible show. 27 points for the game and 10 rebounds.
And the great thing is that they're getting help from other people. Sean Marion, Penny Hardaway came in and made 2 great passes that led to baskets or led to fouls. So that's exactly what has to happen to give this guy, Stephon Marbury, some help out here.
Well, the guy's playing against Stojakovic is 1 for 7. He's been in foul trouble too, defending Sean, and hasn't had a chance to get any rhythm.
Here's Penny Hardaway with the miss. Rebound by Outlaw. Both teams have hit 6 3-point shots tonight apiece. Hedo Turkoglu in the game defending. Expo Outlaw over Jimmy Jackson. Can I say it?
You can say it.
No. He used the glass.
You can say he's an offensive force. No, not yet, but he is sweet.
He is. Weber.
He's a guy that you love to play with. He's a guy that you love to coach. And that's why Outlaw does so much for a team, because you don't have to give him attention. He's a supportive player.
down the lane. Sacramento has won twice in this series with Phoenix this year. In Arco, Phoenix won here in December. Sacramento has won 8 of the last 11 against the Phoenix Suns.
Well, and this is the second guy that we were talking about. You need some help for Stephon Marbury again, and Marion has shown up and given him a lot today in terms of offensively being aggressive and playing, going to the basket. Frank said he'd like to see him go more aggressively to the basket. He's given us a little bit of everything today.
This is a part of Bo's game. He's actually shooting as good as he ever has in his life, shooting 58% from the free throw line, Kevin. And, you know, I would like us to take the camera off him while he shoots the free throws. It says put a camera on the basket to see if it goes in.
We may ruin him if he shoots too well. He may stop doing those hard things.
Got it. Bo Outlaw is a 58% free throw shooter. Suns have 13 points this quarter. 10 come from the bench. Turkoglu winding up for 3. And claimed by Bo Outlaw.
Unbelievable. I mean, just the little things, Kevin, that he's doing. He sets the screen. He coughs up the middle. Sets the screen there. Foul a shot.
Foul, Sacramento. So Bobby Jackson. It was.
Fouls number 24, Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Jackson's got his first. Just to fun, Marbury and Marion, I want to just tell you about these two guys because they have a very special place in the NBA. Only 3 teams have 2 players in the top 20 scoring, averaging over 20 points a game. Lakers, if you know who and you know who. Boston with Pierce and Antoine Walker. And these 2 guys here in Phoenix, Marbury and Marion.
And that's what I like about Marbury. You know, we talked about him knowing when to go, and he took off in the first half, and in the second half, he's perfectly fine with Shawn Marion being the show and running the offense. He's only taken 5 shots so far in the second half. And almost a spectacular dunk right there.
Weber picks up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, look at little Jake, the defender here. I like this one. When he comes over, he gives great help. And Jackson really is great going to the basket. He can teardrop, he uses finesse, and Jake got to him. That was a great play.
Jake plays hard every single night. He gives you an effort.
What's Big Jake doing?
Yeah.
They're saving him for the big game Sunday for Yao Ming. The Jake is coming back for Yao.
There's something about that bothers me.
Yo, Yao. Yo, Yao.
Yo.
Resting on the job.
He doesn't have a job tonight.
Turkoglu picked up by Outlaw. Knocked away by the very quick and defensive-minded Marbury. How is his defense? I think underrated, Danny. What do you think?
He's one of the strongest. You talk about the guys that play against him, and they think he's one of the strongest point guards in the game. He's explosive, he's quick, he's strong, and he's tough. And a lot of times he matches up against guys that are bigger than him. He does a good job. So I think Steph is an excellent defender.
Marion for 3. Rebound by Weber. Out to the fleet-footed Bobby Jackson. Along to 2. Got 9 off the bench. And a rebound by Marion. This is not a good rebounding Phoenix team either. And tonight they're controlling the glass as Voskuhl takes it inside. Let me ask you two, what about the absence of Vlade Divac? That is definitely having an effect on this Sacramento team tonight.
Well, I think it has an enormous effect on it. And Frank Johnson told us when we talked to him that Vlade, he thought, was the glue to this team, even in terms of his leadership as well as his performance.
Eminem, Marion for 3. Oh, what an incredible 3rd quarter he is putting on tonight. Scoring at will. Jackson, Bibby for 3. Oh, another 3 by Mike Bibby. Right between the eyes. It's Stephon Marbury. And the Phoenix Suns are putting in one of those performances. Marion and Marbury tonight have combined for 53 points. And that is the kind of selection in the shots Marion has taken tonight.
And the guys, Jake Voskuhl and Bo Outlaw, what a huge performance they've given them off the bench. Defense and energy. Completely dominating Sacramento's bench.
Now on the other side for the Sacramento Kings, Hedo Turkoglu and Peja Stojakovic, 1 of 11. Stojakovic was 1 of 7, 4 points, 4 rebounds. A very un-Sacramento-like performance tonight.
And that's one of the reasons the Suns have been able to collapse and clog the middle up, cut down their cutting. If they hit the outside shots, the defense would have had to be extended a lot more. You would have been susceptible for more cuts to the basket for a great passing team.
In the second half, Phoenix shooting 55%, Sacramento shooting 38%. Joe Johnson.
The baskets are huge at that end of the court. Joe Johnson is a good player. He's got to just get a little more consistent. Still very, very young in his second year. Only 21 years old. They need him to become a consistent player in this franchise.
Phoenix enjoying their biggest lead tonight of 23. Here comes Marion.
Suns have done a great job of clogging up the middle. I can tell you that. Against those cutters, they're blocking up everything that comes through there.
Marion, the drive in the dish. Shot clock at 6. Marion again against Turkoglu on the fly. Rebound by Hedo. Weber. Let's go with the rebound.
And the thing about Stephon Marbury, if you watch some of the places down where he takes the ball, the average guard couldn't get out with the pass. I mean, he goes into traffic, he goes into corners, he still comes out and can hit open man.
Can you imagine him as a running back?
Gerald Wallace in the game with the interception. By the way, Chris Webber is 1 assist from a triple-double. If Wallace hits there, he's got it. Rebound by Bosco.
That's why stats sometimes are deceiving. I mean, Chris is a great basketball player, but you know what? A triple-double is supposed to be a spectacular performance, and I don't think Chris has had even a good performance in his standards.
11 of 29 tonight, John, from the field for Webber.
Well, and I think, again, that accentuates the fact of what Frank Johnson was saying about the value of Vlade Divac, because he'll take some of the attention off. He'll make the passes that'll help Chris a little bit, because you can really clog up the middle, force Chris to become an outside jump shooter right now.
Coming up on the national television schedule, NBA TV has Miami and Washington for you on Saturday. ABC's got Dallas, Sacramento for you on Sunday. ESPN next Wednesday, Boston at Indiana. Looks like Webber's done for the night. Walks off the floor. Scott Pollard has taken his place. Here's what interested me about Sacramento coming into tonight. The last 3 games, they had beaten Indiana, going to the playoffs by 19. Utah going to the playoffs in overtime by 3. And the Timberwolves going to the playoffs by 1 in overtime. Their last 3 wins have really been very quality wins.
They're a scary team. When those guys get it going, and they didn't get a great performance out of Stoudemire tonight, a guy that they've been getting a lot out of on occasion, but they got it out of the veteran, Bo Outlaw, who hasn't been getting a lot of time lately, and I'm not so sure why. Every time I watch the guy play, he's doing something out on the court, except shoot a jumper.
Oh, Outlaw, I was all loaded and ready to fire. Come on, hit one.
No, I don't want to see him shoot one.
No, because Dan Lange for 3. Scott Pollard with the rebound. Pollard is one of those poster children of injured Kings all season. Jimmy Jackson knocks down the 3-point shot from outside. We're talking about Jake Bosco. 13 points in 22 minutes tonight. Not bad at all off the bench.
It's a great effort. I mean, again, he gives him Bo-like energy. He's not the athlete that Bo is, but they weren't guarding him, and he was making them pay.
Well, and exactly. He's the recipient of a lot of passes from what is happening to other players on his team, and he's smart enough to make the cuts so that he can be a receiver.
Bobby Jackson with the miss. Stoudemire, who is very quiet tonight, 7 points, 9 rebounds for the Phoenix Suns. But they really didn't need him because Bosco was so big inside. And everyone else was hitting every shot, like Marion and Marbury.
Well, and they guard him.
And the one thing that they have done is what they planned on doing from practice, is hitting the defensive boards, holding these guys to one shot. They did an excellent job of rebounding on their defensive boards.
Well, it seems like we can be first-round opponents, you know, so that's going to be a big game. But it's just, you know, it's turned into such a big rivalry. It's kind of taken on its own personality. I think the fans really enjoy it. We as players, we enjoy it. So it's exciting every time we play them, especially at Arco.
Well, if the Western Conference began tonight with their playoff scenario, look at some of these first-round matchups, including that one at the bottom, 2-7 Kings-Lakers. Wouldn't that be phenomenal?
I dibs that one.
Oh.
The one at the bottom is sinful.
Yes.
To be an opening round, oh my God.
And 1-8 is pretty attractive too. Dallas against Houston or Phoenix. That looks good. Dallas is losing tonight in Seattle as we speak. Dallas has the #1 record in the Western Conference. Sacramento, of course, losing. Dan Lange hitting from outside.
Well, Dallas losing tonight. That, you know, San Antonio was creeping up on them.
Absolutely. 2 minutes. Jimmy Jackson. So it looks like the Suns will win their 4th game in the last 5 in Phoenix against Sacramento.
And that's huge. I mean, you know, the big win that Houston got last night, that thanks to the officiating.
You better watch out. Stoudemire.
That's what I love about this spot. They won't find me. I can talk about the refs.
Well, they need to beat Houston on Sunday because that would tie that season series. And with the win tonight, Phoenix will tie their season series with Sacramento. So they're making some progress. And like we've mentioned before, since the All-Star break, John, with the win tonight will include now, the Suns have gone 5-9. So if they can pull themselves out of this little lull and finish strong, they're going to find themselves in pretty good shape in the conference.
And Kevin, what is important is how they won, too. They did it according to the script in terms of what they were trying to do. They did a good job on the defensive boards. Defensively, they helped out. They cut off a lot of the cutting. And then somebody joined in and helped Stephon. And that's extremely important to build a team based on your objective.
Lange. Joe Johnson couldn't put it in. Bobby Jackson comes out of the fray. Scoops it over to Gerald Wallace, who collides with newly instated Casey Jacobson.
I like that foul right there.
Jacobson hits his first.
First in the last 2 minutes.
Well, the big hits, the big games all season long. Major League Baseball on TBS Superstation returns Friday, April 4th. Can hardly wait. They have 9 teams, Danny, in this Phoenix area.
Yeah, there's spring training games every day. Look at all the fans out there. Beautiful sunshine today, 85 degrees.
It was so nice.
I don't know how anybody could be living in Kansas City right now when you got this kind of weather.
What position did you play?
I played everything, baby. I was like full outlaw. I was a selfish defensive player.
They put him in the outfield so he could get him away from everybody else.
You got it.
I played offense like Bo.
Bobby Jackson. The Suns have had runs tonight. That's an air ball by Bobby on his birthday, his 30th birthday tonight. Full lineup on Inside the NBA coming up with EJ, the Jet, and Sir Charles.
Hey, Sir Charles was talking today in the Phoenix papers about them not being able to sell tickets to him, or they refused him 2 tickets down here in Phoenix. That is not true. I know Brian Colangelo, and he would take tickets. He would take money for season tickets from the devil himself.
Why are you picking on my boy Charles today?
I read that this morning. I'm like, come on.
Jimmy Jackson.
I'll take anybody's money.
Phoenix Suns will go 4 games over 500. They will stop their 2-game losing skid. And they move ahead of Houston to sole possession of number 8 in the Western Conference playoff race, as they have handed the Sacramento Kings their largest loss of the season. You almost have to choke on those words. This is the largest loss, the biggest loss in terms of points the Sacramento Kings have had this year. What a performance by Sean Marion. Let's go to Cheryl Miller.
Sean, in the first half, you only had 6 points. What woke you up in the second half?
No, I just came out aggressive, and you know, we got it going, and create momentum for us, and we just blew them out.
Hey, talk about the effort by Little Jake, 13 points, but really more importantly, anchor the defense in the middle.
Yeah, he had a presence for us inside tonight. He was coming from weak side, blocking shots, and running the floor, man. That's what you want a big man to do right there.
18 games remaining. Can you guys bottle this effort tonight and continue it the rest of the way?
Yeah, I think we can. We just got to stay positive and keep moving forward.
Big game on Sunday against Houston.
Definitely, definitely. We got to get that one, too.
Thanks a lot, Sean. Let's send it back to you, Kevin.
27 points, Cheryl, for Sean Marion in the game, 21 in the second half. And the All-Star out of UNLV was absolutely spectacular tonight, doing it in front of the greatest of them all, Muhammad Ali. And now for Danny Ainge, Cheryl Miller, and John Thompson, this is Kevin Harlan. Our producer tonight, Mike Burks, our director, Lonnie Dale. Thank you for being with us. We'll take a break and then send you to Atlanta for Inside the NBA. You've been watching the NBA on TNT.